Alright boys, here we are, the ATC match between Evil Genius and Team Acer, and we couldn't have hoped for a better starting game than this one. Everybody was hoping we would see the match during the team match at some point, but well, just a few people really thought it would happen as the opening match. It's Innovation versus JaeDong, the two titans going up against each other in this best of 9 series. The individual match of course being a best of 1. JaeDong here on Altazim Stronghold, our first map, starting to the bottom right of the map and starting to the left. We have for Team Acer Innovation. It's going to be a pretty sick match here at the ATC, and it's going to be an absolute blast to cast this game for you. Keep in mind that with the Acer Team Story Cup format that we have, a player that has been eliminated early on can still be the ace player for the team. So if one team is down to their final player, you can choose from your entire lineup and revive one of the players that was eliminated a little bit earlier. So no matter who wins this game now, we might see the losing player again as the last player for his team. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's have a quick look at what's currently going on. Of course, for Innovation as a Terranum player, we have a pretty normal opening, starting with the barracks and then going straight into the refinery. Probably gonna drop that Reaper and try to get the scouting information. JaeDong at the bottom right, sending the Overlords out. First Overlord going to the kind of wrong spot, like he gets a little bit of an unlucky scout here because the Overlord will check this base up here to the top right first. Second Overlord is a little bit slower and already on the way to the bottom left, whereas JaeDong here on this map goes straight into a hatch first. Altazim Stronghold is the biggest map that we currently have in the map pool, and usually when you're, for example, up against a Protoss player, a lot of Zerg players will just say, well, I just go straight into double hatch before pool and take it from there. Against Terran it's a little bit different. Most Terran players, or a lot of them, will go into a command center first regardless. Innovation starting things off with the Reaper here that we already see on the production tab. And so for JaeDong in this particular scenario, we have him starting with an extractor into spawning pool after he dropped the hatch at the natural. So nothing too much out of the ordinary. SCV on the way to the top left, so the Reaper probably going to go bottom right, and that's already the rally point. So he will, with the Reaper, be at his opponent's base as the fastest time possible for him. So let's find out how exactly he can make that count. Maybe he's able to kill a drone or two, depending on how JaeDong is going to play this. And the Dong, of course, I mean, he's on a roll. If you look at the ATC qualifier that Evil Genius played, it was basically Team JaeDong that absolutely wrecked everybody, especially if you ask Root Gaming, they can probably tell you one or two things about that, because he all killed and he made it look easy. This guy is on such a spree, but on the other hand, he's also by far the best player on the team. So once you take JaeDong out of the picture, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Evil Genius to really make that work. Saving that Harvester immediately with a quick extractor, and the Reaper has to hightail it out of there since the Zerglings are already in here. We have speed started, a little bit of additional gas mining going on, but not too much just yet. And all the way back at home, Innovation, of course, with his own command center, wants to catch up, and gets a drone kill there after all. There's another kill. He might get another one. Ah, nice reaction here by JaeDong. We are on the Korean server. Both players currently in Korea, so delay is not a big issue. And he might get another kill. By now, he has two Reapers, basically the double dragon formation that they run here, going for the tag team style. Trying to move in, and bam, there it is. Another kill already. So 2 kills for now. Doing a pretty decent job, and also saving the Reaper, not letting it die to the Queen, which was very eager to take revenge since one of her babies just died. But Innovation all the way back at home, already starting things off with a triple CC, starting that second command center that he's building way before he takes his second gas. Doesn't go into any kind of Banshee play, which we've seen occasionally. It's a pretty massive map, so not really the usual style that we see here. We have already with the factory the first few Hellions started, and for JaeDong with the extra Queens that is currently building, it's going to be a lot about trying to just make sure that he can get all the creep spread possible, especially towards that third base that we see right over here. Wants to claim that, of course, and Innovation will try to just make sure that he can possibly delay that, or at least take down a few of the creep tumors, making sure that JaeDong just doesn't have the advantage on creep. If you're new to StarCraft, the Zerglings, or again in general, like the ground units of a Zerg player, get a bit of a speed boost on creep, and that's absolutely incredible if you want to defend against the early on pushes, especially if the Queens are much faster. They kind of walk back in time when they are off creep. It's absolutely ridiculous. But for now, we have those Hellions just trying to sneak around a little bit, doing some damage to the hatch. That's never going to happen. There are also only 2 Hellions thus far. We have back at home the tech into Stim started, a few additional Hellions on the way. No Starport just yet. One lone SCV, a little bit lazy here. Finally moving down towards that natural to put in some work. And as you can see here, for example, supply block and idle worker time, JaeDong actually really doing a good job with his workers. Only 2 seconds of idle worker time. Maybe a little bit easier for him than for innovation if you think about it, since the drones usually don't stick around after they try to build a building. So yeah, a little bit different here, but just a few additional information for you guys if you're interested in statistics. At this point, we have the Hellions trying to move in, and the one thing that you can always try to do is take down a queen or two. JaeDong with really nice micro, but that's a lot of Hellions already, using those line of sight blockers here very well at that too. So pretty decent job by innovation, but JaeDong is still holding strong, taking that third base, forcing that creep forward, and going straight into double upgrades here all the way back at home with the double evolution chamber. We have him with a hatch, also taking into lair at the natural, while the Hellions are still doing damage. Getting a queen, getting 2 queens actually, getting 3! Oh my god, the Zerglings not helping out at all, just sitting there and watching. I have no idea what those queens did to those guys. Probably JaeDong trying to wait a little bit longer until the speed was done. But yeah, that was pretty brutal. Lynx trying to go for the sandwich here, taking down maybe a couple of Hellions, but innovation, wow. Moving those units out of harm's way, losing 2 Reapers in the end, maybe even a few additional Hellions, but so far the Terran player really doing a great job with his micro, toasting another set of Zerglings, but in the end it looks like all of those Hellions are gonna bite the dust. Lings are just running in, and of course the only question that the chat on Twitch has right now is, at what cost? Now looking at the costs here, we currently have 700 minerals lost against 1,287. That's a pretty interesting number, by the way. So JaeDong with the 3 queens lost, definitely getting the worst end out of this deal. And he can already see what's going on all the way up here at the top, and that's a lot of production for innovation. Extra bunkers just to be on the safe side, and as you can see, we have him like with triple barracks at this point. The starport is done, and there are bunkers just everywhere, so in case there's like a roach aggression, there's like something else, innovation will be ready. But JaeDong is playing this pretty much standard, goes into very fast upgrades, goes straight into the Spire. He's on 3 bases by now already. And of course losing those 3 queens is something that is definitely going to piss him off a little bit. But at the same time, he still has a lot of active creep tumors on the maps, can spread the creep forward. He also didn't lose too much of the inject time here, which is another benefit. And in terms of drones, he didn't really lose all too much. And that leaves us currently with 67 harvesters for the Dong and 50 for innovation, who also takes his 3rd base right now, trying to claim that immediately. JaeDong with the Baneling Nest, also with the Lynx. Keep in mind those bad boys are already on 1-1, whereas innovation is just now about to finish those upgrades. And JaeDong not getting 2-2. He wants to save the gas apparently to produce even more Mutalisk against his opponent, and he lays the 2nd set of upgrades a little bit, just trying to run it at the beginning with the 1-1 upgrades. Overlord speed coming in as well. Super important if you have like one of those overseers with your Muta Swarm, so that you can detect those Widow Mines early on and then really work against them. Pretty nice with the Medivac, actually circumventing those Zerglings that he saw, but now he's just moving on to creep, taking down 3 Overlords already. Those guys were definitely out of position. And innovation could even move forward now, take another one. The queen here completely exposed as well, and JaeDong can just always lift back now, doing the damage against the Zerglings, but in the end probably going to decide to pick up and leave. Actually he's not, he's going for the trade here, and that works out in his favor. Wow, is able to make that work with the 1-1 upgrades that he already had. The Banelings are moving in and finally putting an end to this attack, but so far innovation is doing a great job here. Resources lost, as you can see, definitely in favor of the Terran player, and Team Acer is having high hopes that innovation is going to take this match, because the Terran player doing an amazing job so far. We have him moving in, and the Banelings great split so far. Nice snipes here by innovation. JaeDong is starting to struggle a little bit. He goes for that 4th base to the top, but at the same time the Mutalisks aren't there just yet. 11 of those are on the way, and the timing that we see here for innovation is absolutely amazing. He kills so many of the harvesters right now, and JaeDong is put with his back to the wall. Actually, that's innovation, I guess, but still, he's the one doing the damage. He's killing a lot of the Mutalisks already as well, and if you just look at the resources lost, that's absolutely incredible. More than twice the amount for JaeDong. Innovation is taking down another Mutalisk. He is wrecking JaeDong right now. JaeDong is down to below 100 supply. The Widow Mines getting their shots off. The Marines absolutely relentless. Streaming in again, another stim. Those Medivacs doing an amazing job, and now drone after drone is being slaughtered here. JaeDong drops down to 51. If you look at the army supply, it's 82 against 35. We have 65 workers against 49. JaeDong is absolutely getting demolished here. He was not prepared for this massive attack of innovation, even with the Banelings that he had. The Mutalisk not out there in the beginning to really keep tabs on those Medivacs, and suddenly the Terran player is taking down everything that JaeDong has. The GG called. And Innovation takes game number 1 for Team Acer, taking out JaeDong.